Good morning, my dear students. Today, we are discussing about the chapter Force and Pressure. As you know, we already discussed the chapter. Today, we are trying to see this chapter in different angle. Okay. So that in this chapter, you studied only two concepts. That what are they? Only force and pressure. That means after this chapter, you should be able to draw a clear picture about this force and pressure. That's all. Only two concepts, that is force and pressure. Okay, first we will discuss about force, then we will discuss about pressure. Then, for defining force, we consider some actions of force, that is throwing, pushing, kicking, batting, pulling, like that. Then we could see that these actions of force we can categorize or we can group under push or pull. So, according to that discussion, we define the force as push or a pull. Okay, so we define the force is nothing but a push or a pull. So, in order to understand the concept force fully, we define the force as push or pull. Then we have to understand what you mean by push or pull. Okay, then what is push? Push is the application of force to move away the object from us, and pull is the action while pulling we are trying to move object towards us. Okay, moving away means push and moving towards us means pull. Okay, so if we are defining a force, it should be applicable everywhere and every time. Am I correct? So, just imagine a situation that you are driving a car or you are applying a brake. Okay. While applying brake, for what purpose you applied brake? To decrease the speed or to stop the car. Okay. So, are you pulling the car or pushing the car that time when you are applying the brake on the car? You are trying to push or pull the car. If you are pushing means you are trying to move the object away from you, and if you are pulling means you are trying to move the car towards you. Are you pushing or pulling while applying a brake? You can't say because you are inside the car. So it is very difficult to say that you are pulling or pushing, because we can't say you are pulling or pushing, because if you are saying that we are pushing, that should move away from you. And if you are saying that you are pulling, means it should move towards you. But it is not the condition. So it is something different. Okay. So we can say that the definition, according to the definition push or pull, it is different. Or we can't apply that definition in this situation. Okay. Then forget about that. Consider other example, that squeezing a sponge. While you are squeezing a sponge or rubber ball or something like that, what you are trying to do? Are you pushing or pulling the sponge? You may not. Because while crushing or squeezing the sponge, you are applying a force, but you are not pushing or pulling. That means the sponge or rubber ball is not moving away from you or moving towards you. Okay. So, we want some other definition to define the force, or we have to add something to the definition of force to get a complete meaning. Okay? Got the idea? So, we have to add or something new, or we have to redefine the definition of the force. For that, we discuss about what are the effects of force. Okay. Just just look at the first example, that is applying a brake. While you are applying a brake, what you are doing? You are changing the speed. Okay, you are decreasing your speed, or you are stopping the car. That means you are changing the speed of the car. Okay. Also, we can see that while applying a force, we can change the direction of moving object. Okay, by batting a moving ball, you are changing the direction of the ball. So we can say that on the application of force can change the direction of the motion. Okay. Or we can move a stationary object. If the object is at stationary position, we can move the object by applying a force. Or you can stop a moving object like applying brake. Okay? You can stop a moving object by applying a force in the opposite direction. Okay, these are the effects of force, and these 4 cases we can say that this is nothing but state of motion. Okay, so these are called the state of motion. State of motion means state of speed, direction, or state of the position, or state of the object. That is, the moving or is at a stationary. Together we call it as state of motion. So we can say that a force can change the state of motion. Got the idea? So first we define that the force is a push or pull. Then while applying this definition in some situations, we can see that this we can't apply in all situations in that definition. So we have to redefine, or we have to add something to the definition. For that we could see what are the effect of force. Okay, so we could see that it can change the state of motion. Then go to the second example, squeezing a sponge. While applying the force on the rubber ball or sponge, something like that, what you are doing? You are changing the shape of the object. So we can say that a force can change the shape of the object. First one, the force can change the state of motion. Second thing, we can change the shape of the object. Got the idea? So we can redefine, or we can define the forces. It is a push or a pull, or it is a physical quantity that can change the state of motion or the shape of the object. Clear? Okay, so force is nothing but it is a push or a pull, or it is a physical quantity that can change the state of motion and change the state of shape. Okay, got the idea? Then we can call it change the state of motion or change the shape of the object. So we can redefine the forces like that. Okay, so you have to define the force as it is a push or pull or something other. Okay, the both sentences you have to add while you are defining the force. Okay, then second thing, when 2 or more force acting on a body. So this till now what we discussed, if one force is applying a body, what will happen? What is the effect? Okay, so now we are moving to discuss about when 2 or more forces acting on a body, what will happen? What is the effect of that force, or what will happen to the body? Okay, so in order to understand that, first we have to understand what he meant by balanced force. While discussing about tug of war, one could see if both the teams are applying equal force on the rope, what will happen? It won't move. That means there is no change in the motion. Okay, but other group or team is applying a more force, the rope will move towards them. Okay, that time there is a change in motion. So balanced force means equal and opposite force. Balanced force is nothing but equal and opposite force. If equal force is applying on an object in opposite direction, then we will call it as that force is called a balanced force. Also, this balanced force won't change the motion or state of motion. Okay, there will not be any change in the state of the object while applying a balanced force. Got the idea? Okay, so in order to move the object, we have to apply an unbalanced force. Then only it will move. Okay, so what is meant by unequal forces? Unbalanced force. Unbalanced force is nothing but unequal forces. While we are applying a force, an unequal force on the either side or same side, then we call it as it is unbalanced force. Okay, so here, how this situation become unbalanced force? Either team A or team B have to apply more force. Then we will call it as it is unbalanced force. Unbalanced force means unequal forces in same direction or opposite direction. It can be in same direction as well as in opposite direction. Then we will call it as unbalanced force if the amount of force is unequal. Okay, the amount of force is in different position. Okay, so here you can see a video in order to understand better the balanced force and the unbalanced force. Okay. So now we can see they are applying equal forces in opposite direction. So the rope won't change the position. So it is called the balanced force. Here only girl is applied force, so it is an unbalanced force. The moment the ropes cut it, then what happened? Only in one side there is a force. Application of force is only one direction, so it is unbalanced force. It causes motion. Okay. Okay. So hope you understood the balanced force and the unbalanced force. Okay. Then we discuss about how we can calculate the force. That is, if it is balanced or unbalanced force, how we can calculate the net force or total force acting on an object when two or more forces are acting on an object. Okay. For that, first we consider if the forces are applying in same direction. If the forces are applying in same direction, the total force will be the sum of each forces. Okay, thus it will be here two forces are applying on this bow, so it will be the sum of these two forces x plus y. And if the forces are in opposite direction, what will happen? The net force or total force will be the difference between these two forces. Okay, if it is in equal amount, then what will be the effect? Result will be 0 because x minus y. So if it is in opposite direction, the net force will be the difference between these two forces. If it is in same direction, it will be the sum of two forces. If it is three forces, sum of three forces, like that. Okay, got the idea? So here is a sample problem. J applies a force of 20 Newton on a box in north direction, and same time Neha applies a force of 35 Newton in the south direction. That you have to notice that one is in north direction, other is in south direction. That is in opposite direction. Okay, on the same box, what will be the net force? So in order to solve the problem, first we have to see the force applied by Jaya, that is equal to 20 Newton, and we have to say the direction also in north direction. Okay. Second, the force applied by Neha is equal to 35 Newton, that is in south direction. So we can understand here the forces are applied and also in opposite direction. So what will be the net force? Net force will be the difference between these two forces because it is in opposite direction. So net force will be equal to 20 minus 35, that is equal to 15 Newton in the south direction. Why it is in south direction? Because Neha applied for the more force, a greater force in the south direction. So we can say the net force will be along greater force that we studied. Okay. So it is in greater force is 35 Newton. It is in the south direction. So the net force will be in the south direction. Okay. Got the idea? So we have to look at the difference between these two forces. Then we have to see what is the direction of greater force. Then we have to apply 15 Newton in the south direction. The net force will be in south direction. Okay. Then from this discussion we can conclude that the force has magnitude as well as direction. Magnitude and direction. What do you mean by any quantity which have magnitude as well as direction? These are called a vector quantity, vectors. And other, if the quantity, physical quantity have only magnitude, then we will call it as scalar quantity. Scalar quantity and vector quantity you will study in higher classes. Don't worry about that. Just understand the force is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude as well as direction. Good. Force has both magnitude as well as direction, so it is called a vector quantity. Other quantities are called a scalar quantity. Okay. In order to understand force better, we have to discuss what are the types of forces. Okay. Here we can see that in all these situations, the application of force is in contact with other objects. That means the force can come into picture only only two bodies or two or more bodies are in physical contact. But some forces we can say that if it is not there any physical quantity, physical contact, then also the force can come into play. So that type of force we call it as non-contact forces. For example, magnetic force. Magnet can apply a force on the other object like iron materials if there is no contact between this iron material and the magnet. So we call it as non-contact forces. So two types of forces are there, that are contact force and non-contact force. Then we have to discuss what about contact force. Contact force means the force can come into picture only when two bodies are in physical contact. There are three types of contact force, that is frictional force, mechanical force and muscular force. Then what do you mean by frictional force? It is the opposing force, opposing the motion of the object in opposite direction and act along the surface of the contact. While discussing about frictional force, you have to remember that it is an opposing force. Also, it will act in the opposite direction of motion. Also, it acts along the surface of the contact. These 3 points you have to remember. Okay, it is an opposing. It opposes the motion of the object, and it will act along the opposite direction, and also act along the surface of contact. That is frictional force. And mechanical force means the force exerted by machines. And muscular force means force exerted by muscles. So this muscular force can be exerted by human beings as well as animals. Okay, these three are called the contact force because these three can come into picture or can apply only when two bodies are in physical contact. Got the frictional force, mechanical force and muscular force. Here also we can see one video that after this slide I will show you. Then other is non-contact force. Non-contact force means a force can come into play or come into picture without any physical contact. That is called the non-contact force. In non-contact force, what are they? Gravitational force, electrostatic force and magnetic force. These are called the non-contact force. Why it is called a non-contact force? Because there will not be any physical contact between two objects. Then we will discuss about gravitational force. What do you mean by gravitational force? It is the force of attraction towards the center of the earth. That is called the gravitational force of the earth. Not only earth, all objects in the universe can apply forces or attractive forces in other objects. Even this pen and this board have an attractive force with each other. Every object in the universe having attractive force with each other. That is called the gravitational force. But the force of attraction between this pen and this board, it is not that much. We can't experience that force. Why it is so? Because it has less mass, so the force is very, very less. The gravitational force is based on, or it is depend upon the mass. So we can't experience the attractive force between this pen and, or this pen and board, or this pen and book, that like that. But this Earth is a huge mass body, so this force is we can experience. There is a higher forces. Okay, so gravitational force means every object in the universe attracting each other, and that force is called the gravitational force of attraction. Now we are considering about the attractive force towards the center of the earth, so that is called the gravitational force of the earth. Okay, so gravitational force attraction towards the center of the earth, that is called the gravitational force. This is a non-contact force. That means if an object is throwing up to a high, after some day it will come back. That means if there is no physical contact between the earth and the object, then only it can come into earth. That is because of gravitational force. Here we can see there is no physical contact between the object. Or while falling an apple or any fruit from a tree, it is also an example of gravitational force. There also we can see that there is no physical contact between that fruit and the earth. Then also it can come into play. That is called the gravitational force. Then we will discuss about electrostatic force. What do you mean by electrostatic force? Electrostatic force, it is the force exerted by charged body. Charged body means here this electrostatic force means the stationary charges. The stationary charges exerting a force on the other object, that is called the electrostatic force. Okay, when we rub a balloon with a hand or with some nylon cloth, what will happen? The balloon carry some type of charges. So we call it as this balloon is a charged body. This charged body can attract or repel other charged body or uncharged body. That is called the electrostatic force. And this also you will study later. This, what about magnetic force? The magnet can exert an attractive force, especially towards iron objects. That is called the magnetic force. The force exerted by magnets. This also attractive as well as repulsive. That means the opposite poles of the magnet. The magnet can attract other magnets also, or it can repel. If it is same pole, it will repel each other. If it is opposite poles, it will attract each other. So magnetic force can be attractive as well as repulsive. Electrostatic force also, it can be attractive as well as repulsive. But what about gravitational force? It always will be attractive in nature. What the idea? Gravitational force is attractive in nature. That means it will attract always. But electrostatic force and magnetic force are attractive as well as repulsive. Okay. So this is about a non-contact force. Non-contact forces are gravitational force, electrostatic force and magnetic force. Contact forces are muscular force, frictional force and mechanical force. Muscular force, the force exerted by muscles. Mechanical force, the force exerted by machines. And the frictional force is the opposing force of motion. Okay, this much only about force. So Hope now you got the clear picture about force. What is the definition of force? And what are the effects of force? What will happen if more forces are acting on a body? And what will be the net force? What are the types of force? Okay? Hope it is clear to you. So now we can move to other video. Here what you can see, he applied some sand on the path of the car, and so it stops. That means a smooth surface offers less friction and rough surface offers more friction. So when he applies the sand, the path will become more rough, so it can offer more frictional force, so the car stops. Okay, hope you got the idea about friction. It is the opposing force acting on a moving surface or objects. Okay.